Yes, you heard that right. Tiffany Henyard might no longer be the mayor of Dalton. And yep, reports are flooding in that she's also been booted from her role as supervisor of Thornton Township, which means that whole super mayor nickname. She gave herself the one she proudly wore like some kind of superhero cape to boost her image. That might be history too. Let's be real, whether she's in office or not, she'll always be the super mayor to anyone who's been following this non-stop circus of a political drama. The scandals, the mess, the cover-ups, that reputation isn't going anywhere, and right now, she's facing what could be the most serious reckoning of her entire public career. She's not just ignoring people anymore, she's potentially racking up $1,000 fines every single day for refusing to release public records that she's legally obligated to hand over under Illinois law. And on top of that, she's officially been summoned to court. Not over Zoom, not through an email. She has to show up in person. This isn't some gentle legal nudge anymore. It's going down on the first Friday of June, and this might be the day the so-called super mayor finally runs out of places to hide. Because if she blows this off like she's blown off everything else, we're not just talking civil violations. We're talking physical contempt. That's actual jail time, actual handcuffs, actual punishment. The same woman who once ran to governments like her personal empire might end up exactly where more and more people say she belongs, behind bars, for allegedly abusing her power, hiding public information, and spending taxpayer dollars like monopoly money in both Dalton and Thornton Township. Don't worry, we're breaking it all down, every twist, every shady detail. But first, let's rewind to one of the wildest moments in this whole saga. Picture this: Tiffany Henyard, sitting at a board meeting, confidently claiming, "I don't handle anything related to credit cards." Like she was completely disconnected from the whole thing. Wait, weren't some of those charges directly linked to her? Flights to Vegas, expensive dinners, first-class upgrades, or defense? She said she never even went to Vegas. When pressed, she gave a smug, "Of course I know," and followed it with the classic dodge. Any other questions? Yeah, a lot. Like, why are there charges at Calf Hollywood and Hot and Juicy Crawfish, both steps away from the Vegas Strip? Why haven't you explained any of that? Her response: "I just answered that." Except, no, she didn't. She sidestepped it, like always. No straight answers. No responsibility. Just the usual runaround. And that's been the playbook. Year after year. Deny, deflect, and distract. She paints the media and the board as villains. Acts like everyone holding her accountable has a personal grudge. But the receipts, the credit card statements, they don't lie. They're legit. They paint a very clear picture. Tiffany wasn't taking these trips solo. These were political vacations dressed up as government work. She brought township officials and even their spouses. And every bit of it, paid for with public money, not her own. It's tax dollars. At the same time, she padded her salary with travel stipends from out-of-state trips. And a lot of those trips had nothing to do with Dalton. Then the whole thing started collapsing, because watchdog groups stepped in, and the loudest one: Edgar County Watchdogs. They filed FOIA requests, Freedom of Information demands for basic stuff, receipts, statements, meeting notes. And she ignored them, flat out. Even after being removed from her positions, she still held those documents like they were national secrets. Why? What's in them? Because what's already come out is explosive. Take the Lightfoot report and outside investigation into her spending. And even that only skimmed the surface. Remember the luxury SUV she leased? Shiny new Chevy Tahoe? With a base price of about $93,000? That alone raised eyebrows. But the real bombshell was in the deal itself. She signed off on a lease that ended up costing nearly $150,000 after all the interest and extra fees got added. That's over $55,000 down the drain on one car. One of the trustees even said it looked like a teenager got tricked into a 27% interest loan, and honestly, that's not far off. The paperwork shows the lease was signed on December 27, 2022. The base price? $93,216.71. The total interest? $55,929.71. $1,000,000.49. Final cost? A jaw-dropping $149,146.20. And when she was asked about it during a public meeting, she acted like she couldn't even read the numbers, literally said, "I don't see that," and dismissed it like someone handed her the wrong latte. No defense. No accountability, just that signature shrugged. But if you think the madness stops there, buckle up because that SUV was just the beginning. Let's talk about her so-called security. Instead of relying on standard police presence, she upgraded to what can only be described as a full-blown VIP entourage. The officers assigned to protect her were raking in absurd amounts of overtime. The most shocking case? Officer Terry Young, who reportedly logged 303 hours in just one 2-week pay cycle. For context, there are only 336 hours in 14 days. Now that would leave him just 33 hours total for sleep, eating, and functioning as a human. So, unless he was working 21-hour shifts while dreaming, the math doesn't check out. Schedule was approved on Tiffany's watch, Kate, and his 2-week paycheck. Over $13,000 in just 2 weeks. That's more than some people earn in an entire quarter. And how does she react when these scandals surface? Classic Henyard strategy deflection. She accuses trustees of betrayal. She says journalists are twisting facts. She blames racism, sexism, politics, haters, whatever fits the moment. Every problem is someone else's fault, but we've moved past embarrassment. This is a legal disaster waiting to blow up. The Cook County judge on her case is officially done with the excuses. No more hiding behind a Zoom screen. She's now required to physically show up in court in person to explain why she's still withholding public records. And if she doesn't comply, we're talking physical contempt of court. That means jail. That means cuffs. That means the same supermayor who used to strut through city hall might be doing a perp walk into a holding cell. And if you think that's just courtroom drama, you're wrong. The feds are watching. The FBI has reportedly launched an investigation into the misuse of public funds and retaliation against political rivals. The Illinois Attorney General's office is involved too, even though she's been stripped of her official titles. The mess she left behind is now the new administration's problem. Mayor Jason House, who stepped in after Tiffany's departure, is already caught up in a bizarre legal battle over the historic home of Dalton icon Pope Leo. That disaster? A whole separate headache we'll cover soon. But the fact that it's even on his desk says everything you need to know about the chaos she caused. Tiffany's go-to excuse has always been, "I'm just the face of Dalton. I don't control everything." But at this point, that line doesn't work anymore. With investigators, not with judges, not with taxpayers. Especially when there are signed contracts, credit card transactions, and payroll records that lead straight back to her. And just when it seems like she might finally go quiet, she hops on Facebook Live. She calls everything a lie. The media is out to get her. And she leans hard into the narrative that this is all an attack on a strong black woman. Her usual line, "They're not targeting me for what I've done, they're targeting me for who I am." And sure, maybe that still works for a few of her loyal fans. But the general public, they're over it. They want answers. They want receipts. They want someone to finally take responsibility. Honestly, this entire mess could be its own courtroom. Reality series, live-streamed chaos. Wall-to-wall coverage, let the people see it all. And if footage drops of her being held in contempt, they slap on the cuff Sue? No, we're breaking that down frame by frame. Because this isn't just some local scandal, it's a warning to every town, every city, every voter who ever believed the hype and got stuck with a nightmare. So here's where we stand. Tiffany Henyard is still sitting on public records. She's been ordered to appear in court, in person. If she doesn't show, or if she refuses to comply, she's going to jail. The fines are stacking up. And now that she's lost her giant paycheck, the money squeeze is going to hit hard. Owen reports say she's also behind on rent. As wild as it sounds, eviction might be her next headline. Now it's your turn. What do you think happens? Next, does the supermayor finally face real consequences? Will the system actually hold her accountable? Or will she pull another vanishing act and dodge it all again? Or do you still think this is just smoke and mirrors? Just drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you're here for facts. Subscribe to the channel, follow on socials, and check out the links below if you want to support. This has been your full breakdown of the Tiffany Henyard saga from where we're standing. Time's up, the cash is gone, and there's nowhere left for her to run.